Welcome to another episode of the Law and Order Lady. And we're going to be talking about Law and Order SVU episode 26. Well, season 26, episode 4. Season 26, episode 4. So, how did it start? You know how we do it. How did it start? What happened? Who did it? Why? And how did it end? Well, we noticed that Hannah is one of the characters that is in this particular episode. Hannah, and she tells her mom that she didn't, eat the bacon because she's a pescatarian, which means that she doesn't really eat meat. Where her mother goes to the PC that she has and she reads the information on the screen, and then her brother, we see it go to Ryan, who happens to be her boyfriend, and his father notices the messages on his screen. So what it all boils down to is that Ryan and Hannah want to get together. They want to hook up, okay? They want to have sex for the first time. They're both virgins. They want to experience it together. So Ryan's dad gives him a man-to-man talk, right? And then Hannah gets a talk from her mom, and her mom's like, I thought we told each other, what's going on in our lives. We don't keep any secrets. And she's like, Mom, I just want to, do this because I really like him. And she's like, okay, well, this is what you do. I'm going to go out with my sister, your aunt or whatever, and we're going to give you some privacy. And she goes, okay. And forgive me because I just was taking off everything and from work today, and I thought, I didn't do a video. Let me get on here right quick. Well, anyway, so we see her telling her that, instead of going to Erica's house, they should come to her house. And I thought, okay, well, that's kind of cool. Because as a mother, and you think about your children's first time, especially girls, you want them to be safe. And you think, okay, I can't really control what's going to happen, but I can control where it's going to happen so that she'll be not more receptive, but she'll feel safe. So I thought, okay, that's pretty good for the mom to say that they could, do it at the house. So I thought, okay, whatever. So we see that that's how it started, right? What happens is that when she suggests that they come to the house, we see that Ryan and Hannah come back to the house. They're getting romantic. They're getting busy. She takes him to her room. Sorry about the noise in the background. It's a train. So anyway, we see Carisi on the street. It cuts to him, and he's walking down the street with Jessie because he just got her cell phone because he wants her to be able to communicate with her mom. Well, she's only 9 years old, but these days kids have cell phones, right? So he got her a cell phone, and then he sees this guy, this perv, looking at his daughter. So I'm wondering what he's going to do, right? So he sees this perv looking at his daughter. And then he sees the perv looking at another underage girl. So Carisi confronts him. He's like, look, dude, let me tell you something. No, they are both underage. And you're looking at my daughter. I don't like it. Then he's like, let me see your ID. So the guy's like, well, you the police? He's like, what do you think? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Carisi finna do something stupid, but not stupid at the same time. So anyway, the guy is nervous now because he feel like he finna be arrested. So he gives him his ID and he's like, keep your eyes in your head, keep it moving, don't be doing this. So I thought, yay, Carisi, he's a dad now, even though, she might not have been his biological daughter. He's still a dad. He's a stepdad. My husband is a stepdad as well. So anyway, we cut back to the fact that we see Hannah is being rushed to the emergency room. She's not conscious. So we're wondering what happens. There's bruising on her neck. Her mother brings her in and she's like, well, what's going on? So basically we find out that Hannah is unconscious for some reason. So something went awry, right? So that's what happened. So who did it, right? So we cut to Carisi, Olivia, and Finn in the office, and Carisi needs some advice about parenting. He tells Liv what he did to the pedo, right? Checking out Jessie. He tells her he confronted him, he threatened him, and Olivia says, you can't be doing that, you are ADA. You can really get in trouble for that. So he has to get used to having daughters because he's got, 3 daughters? So the mother calls SVU and they rush to see Hannah, who's in the hospital. She wanted to, and she explains, the mother says that, you know, she don't really know what happened. Hannah explains to Captain Benson that she did want to have sex with Ryan, that she doesn't remember it all. She made out, and then she woke up on the floor. And then Ryan told her that she had hit her head on the desk or something like that. And she says, I don't remember that. And they're like, well, what's up with the marks on your neck? And she's like, I don't know. I don't remember. So Hannah had a concussion. Partial amnesia is what she had. She was strangled from behind, it seemed like. So somebody was strangling her, like had their heads, you know, was back here and had their hands around her neck like this while whatever they were doing. So, yeah, that's where it gets interesting. Because let me tell you something. If that had been my daughter, let's get back to it. So, why? Detective Bruno talks to Ryan's dad, and he says yes, that he, you know, knew that Ryan was about to have sex. Detective Silva talks to Mom, and she tells them that Hannah and Ryan had hooked up. That he had used her credit card to take her out to some nice, you know, place. And while they were at the place, I seen him put some liquor in her pina colada, and he did tell her, I got this from my dad's secret stash. I'm gonna put it in there so our virgin pina coladas are not so virgin anymore. So he was really trying to impress her, right? Really, really, really. So I think Hannah is adopted. I mean, did anybody get that vibe? Because she doesn't look like her mom, but we really don't know who the dad was. I don't remember seeing her dad. So anyway, did she consent or not is the question, because now with her in the hospital and the bruises around her neck, did she consent to that? So she tells Olivia and the other person that was interviewing her that she felt it was awkward. You know, she admits to Olivia that what they were trying to do was to have sex, and that she wanted to do things that were in video. She heard that that's what he might like. So they were trying something new. So first of all, they had sex face to face. Then he wanted to try something else. So he turned her over on her stomach, and he was doing something. At first I thought it was anal, right? But I guess he was doing doggy style. Okay, whatever. She said that she was trying to say he was hurting her, but he had his hands around her neck, so she couldn't really talk, but she was trying to get it out. She said she didn't know if he hurt her, so she really couldn't talk. And then Olivia tells Carisi everything that was done, and that he needs to let Finn do the interview because Carisi's been acting a little dodgy in regards to girls, because he really wants to be a good dad, and he knows the kind of people that he encounters daily and has to prosecute. So Ryan said he didn't hear her. He said they were doing doggy style. Yeah, right. He was holding her on her neck, basically strangling her. And then he said that he learned to choke during sex from a video from the fencing team that somebody has showed him. Ryan's dad is angry. And then Detective Silva tells Detective Velasco to go talk to him about it, because he's outside trying to, you know, damage the vending machine at this point. So the father said he got some bad advice, that his son got some bad advice. But did Velasco have any recommendations as to how this could go away? So he makes a recommendation that he can give some money to the police department, or he can give some money personally to Detective Velasco. And Detective Velasco is looking at him like, you scumbag. But okay, you know, I'm not going to get with this bribe. So Ryan is released, basically. And because he didn't lawyered up at this point. He's released. They don't really have anything on him. He admits that he choked her, but he didn't hear her. Then they received another call about a choking of another girl. This time a 12-year-old girl was almost raped in the park. She was assaulted. Toby and Andrew were trying to rape Alyssa per this girl named Simona, because she's the one that called it in and told them. And it's going around. So they need to nip this in the bud, because we got people out there choking people. Like, are you crazy? So in trying to get away from these boys, Alyssa ran into the street and got hit by a cab driver. So the cab driver was found, of course, not guilty, because they had cameras to show that he was not at fault. But eventually, they talk to the boys, Toby and Andrew, and they find out that they were shown the same pornographic video about choking women while you're having sex with them. So I guess they were trying to, get with Alyssa, and it all went awry and she ran into the street, because kids are impressionable. If you show them something and it's appealing to them and they think that that's going to better them in some kind of way, then they're going to do it, right? So Ryan's father encourages him to look at the choking porn. That's how the other guys saw it. They didn't get it from a fencing team. They got it from Ryan, who got it from his dad. Yeah, from his dad. So Detective Silver and Velasco, they talked to Ryan. They told him that he saw the porn. He said his dad was trying to give him some pointers about sex. He wouldn't admit that his dad showed him this porn and choking. But a warrant was issued for the house for the porn, and then they arrested the father for endangering a minor, Ryan, and Hannah. So Ryan's dad tells them that he didn't show anybody any porn. Lies. So Josh Blake is about to leave. The lawyer files a motion to dismiss it. Olivia gets a call, and it's said that Eliza Quinn has died. The 12-year-old girl, she died. Now this is murder. And it's so tragic because she's just a baby. It broke me to watch her parents cry like that. It really, really did. Because I have daughters. And even if I had a son and this happened to my son, it's devastating to lose a child. Like they said, you won't be able to see them grow up or to have children or go have prom or graduation. Nothing. So Captain Curry is like, well, how do we get justice? What do we do? And Liz says, well, we try to get justice. That's what we do. So I don't know. It's just a bad event all the way around, because I was really saddened by the fact that this young baby died. So anyway, they get a call from Ryan's father's home. And actually, it's Ryan that called because it's a disturbance. The wife has been arguing with the husband. You can see she is visibly upset. She is pissed off. And she knows that her son was impressionable, and she knew that her husband had been looking at this porn. She just didn't know that he showed it to her son. And then when she did learn about that and all this happened, it kind of like tripped her out. And she was just upset because now this girl is dead. The other girl is now afraid of sex, has basically been assaulted because she said no. And no means no. At any time during the act of sex, if a woman or a man says no, you need to stop. Because other than that, it is assault. It is rape. So Carisi says that the man weaponized porn, and then Mr. Blake is responsible for all this, that he needs to plead guilty to the child endangerment. But also Mr. Blake is basically blaming his son, saying his son got bad advice and he shouldn't have took it like that, and he shouldn't have did this and that and the other. And he tries to make it look like his son is the guilty one. Well, Carisi says, take responsibility. Be a man. Be a man. Take responsibility. Take accountability. So we see him do just that. In court, he confesses. He said it was his fault for introducing porn to his son, and that he subsequently got the other girl injured and killed. So what's going to happen? I mean, Toby and Andrew are going to get to juvie because they murdered her. They didn't physically murder her, but they put Eliza in danger to the point that she ran out into the street and she was killed due to an accident. So basically, they are the reason that she is dead. So they'll get juvie, but at 18, they'll be out. And I think that's horrible. So who's responsible ultimately? Well, I think it was Mr. Blake. And he is going to get sued for wrongful death. Plus, he's probably going to lose his job. His wife has filed for divorce. His son won't even talk to him. So if he loses his job, he gets divorced, he's got all this money that's going to be taken basically in the wrongful death suit. He's just, all around messed up. So, but that's what he deserves for doing this. I don't think that he thought it would go that far. But you cannot introduce your children to harmful information. The world is harmful enough. The world is full of sin, full of things that can snatch your kids up and change their mindsets and make them do horrible things. Why would you be the person that pivots them in that way? That's just crazy. We have to protect not just our children, but we have to protect their minds until they can protect themselves. You plead the blood of Jesus over your kids, and then you ask God to help you to be a good parent so that you can help your children to grow and to be good adults. A 12-year-old lost her life, a girl that had nothing to do with anything. She lost her life due to the introduction of this porn to Ryan, and then Ryan subsequently to his cousin, Andrew, who took it out on this 12-year-old girl because he thought that was the right thing to do. He thought women liked that. But she got hit by the cab, and because of that, she is dead. So that's how this ended. It ended with Mr. Blake taking accountability in court and acknowledging that he did wrong by his son, his wife, and poor Eliza. So I like this episode because there is accountability. Most of the people that are in this episode never, in the SVU episodes, never want to be accountable for what they've done. They're always sorry when they get caught, but they're not really taking accountability for what they've done. But in this particular episode, we see somebody taking accountability finally. So I'm very glad that he did that, but I was horrified that this 12-year-old girl died. So that's how this episode went. Did you guys like this episode? What were some of the highlights for you? I was glad to see Detective Silver again. You know I love seeing Detective Velasco because, yeah, he is so cute. But anyway, I loved it. If you guys have any comments, I would appreciate it. Comment below how you felt about this episode. Comment below if you think Mr. Blake was ultimately responsible for all of this, but also comment below if you think he wasn't ultimately responsible for this, because I'd like to know. And it doesn't make you bad because you have an opinion. Everybody's opinion here is warranted, needed, and appreciated. So I love you guys. I'll see you next week for the next episode of SVU, of Law and Order SVU. Thank you. I love you.